Hey everyone, buckle up. Today's story is dark, twisted, and packed with suspense. Imagine this, a pregnant woman trapped in a creepy house and someone out there is hunting her. Will she make it out alive or will she become his next victim? Let's dive in and find out. The movie opens with a couple, Natalie and Matt, sharing a sweet moment together. Natalie, who's originally from Spain, is told by Matt, her American boyfriend, that she should move to the US with him. He promises to talk to his parents and make it work. Natalie is excited by the idea, but suddenly, the lights in the room start flickering weirdly. She turns around and sees Matt's lifeless body, the result of a tragic accident. She wakes up sobbing. It was just a nightmare. In reality, Matt is gone, and Natalie is left alone, pregnant with his child. She lives by herself now, still grieving his loss. Outside, she overhears some women gossiping about her, saying she's lost her mind since Matt died, that she barely leaves the house or talks to anyone. Natalie is hurt, but looking at a photo of Matt, she decides it's time to move forward. 8 months go by. Now heavily pregnant, Natalie is back at work as a real estate agent. She visits a huge property that's been on the market for years. Locals say it's haunted. Determined to prove them wrong, she explores the place. The house is massive, with stunning mountain views from the rooftop. She's confident she can sell it. While walking down a hallway, she finds a strange button. When she presses it, an old elevator appears. There's also a rundown wing that looks like it's been abandoned for ages. She starts cleaning up, getting the house ready in case a buyer shows up. Later, she calls her mom, who warns her she shouldn't be working in her condition. If labor starts, the baby could come at any moment, her mom says. But Natalie stands her ground. She promised her boss she'd sell the house today. She's the only female agent at her firm and one of their top performers. Her boss believes in her. Later, she goes into the bathroom and breaks down, still haunted by Matt's memory. Her love for him hasn't faded, even now. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. Natalie assumes it's a client and heads over, but when she opens it, no one's there. Confused, she steps outside and looks around. Nothing. She locks the door and heads back inside, but then she notices someone already in the house. A man is standing there, claiming to be a client. She wonders how he got in, but lets it slide. The man says he saw the for sale sign and wanted to check out the property. Natalie starts showing him around, explaining that the house has 2 stories and a solid structure. With a little renovation, it could be perfect. But the man seems oddly familiar with the place, almost like he already knows it. He asks, thoughtful, "What happened to the previous owners?" Natalie hesitates, then tells him the truth. Years ago, the owners were murdered here, and the killer was never caught. The man smirks and says he feels like their spirits are still wandering the house. He claims he's already sensed something. Natalie, uncomfortable, clearly uncomfortable, brushes it off and says she doesn't believe in ghosts. As it gets darker, she politely asks the man to leave. He steps out, and she quickly locks the door behind him. Natalie heads to her car, but it won't start. She goes back inside and calls a mechanic, who says he'll come soon. While waiting, she tries to pass the time and walks over to an old piano in the house. She starts playing. Suddenly, there's another knock at the door. She checks again. No one's there. This time the air feels heavier. She walks back in, but now creepy music starts playing from another room. She follows the sound, only to find the music player has somehow turned itself on. She turns it off. Then her phone rings. She answers, but no one speaks, just heavy breathing on the other end. She asks, "Who is this?" No response. The call ends abruptly. She heads to the kitchen for a glass of water, but what she doesn't see is a dark shadow standing behind her in the distance, watching. She's not alone, and she doesn't even know it yet. Suddenly, Natalie feels sick and rushes to the bathroom to throw up. She holds her belly and gently talks to her unborn baby. "We'll get through this night together," she whispers, trying to stay strong. Meanwhile, outside by the car, as the mechanic works, a shadowy figure sneaks up and attacks, killing him brutally. Back inside, the power suddenly goes out. Natalie lights a candle and slowly heads down to the basement, her heart pounding. There, she finds a narrow tunnel she hadn't noticed before. Disturbed, she quickly shuts the basement door and goes outside to check on the mechanic, but he's gone, vanished. Confused and terrified, she hears a noise coming from upstairs. She slowly climbs up to check, but no one's there. Then she hears water running in the bathroom. Maybe the mechanic came in, calling out. She calls out, but there's no answer. She opens the door. Empty. She turns off the tap and steps out. Suddenly, the lights flicker violently. When the power comes back, she starts walking through the hallway, and in the shadows behind her, we see it. Someone is watching her. Then she hears the soft, creepy tune of a music box. She walks toward the window and spots the music box sitting outside. But before she can react, she sees something horrifying. The mechanic's body lying in a pool of blood, mutilated. She gasps, and at that moment, her labor pains begin. She realizes there's a killer in the house and he's not letting her leave. Panicked, she hears footsteps approaching. She runs to the terrace, trying to climb up for safety, but the pain is too much. Instead, she grabs a sharp brick for protection and heads back inside. She calls the old elevator, but just as the doors open, he's there, the man from earlier, the so-called client. Natalie instantly hits the button and starts descending in the lift, but he races down the stairs trying to catch her. As the elevator reaches the ground floor, he lunges in and grabs her, but Natalie slashes his face with the brick. He screams and falls back. She hits the button again to go down, but suddenly he leaps up and shuts down the elevator. Now stuck, she forces the doors open and climbs out, but her foot gets caught. She's in pain. Her sandal falls off, and just in time, the elevator crashes down. Natalie, bruised but alive, manages to escape the shaft. She rushes outside in a panic and jumps into her car, but no matter how many times she tries, the engine won't start. Desperate, she runs to the client's car, only to find it won't start either. Inside, she finds something chilling. The client's ID card. It says Parker Kent, but the date of birth is shockingly old. Her eyes widen. Something's not right. Before she can react, she turns around and sees him, the client, standing right in front of her. She freezes in fear and bolts back into the house, but he follows, saying coldly, "You can't escape me. I know this house 10 times better than you do. I've lived here for years. This is my home. No one else is welcome here." That's when it hits her. All the previous homeowners didn't just die, they were murdered, and he was behind it all along. Panicking, Natalie locks every door and rushes to call the police, but the line is dead. She searches a cupboard and finds an old map of the house. It shows a secret tunnel in the basement that leads outside. Without wasting a second, she heads down and crawls into the tunnel. Eventually, she reaches a metal grate, but it's so narrow she can barely squeeze through. Her upper body makes it out, but her stomach is stuck. That's when she hears something, a sound. She turns her head and sees him crawling toward her, slithering like a snake. Terrified, she pushes herself harder, finally breaking free and escaping through the grate. She runs back into the house and manages to reconnect the phone line. This time, she gets through to the police and shakily begs them to come quickly. But before she can catch her breath, the killer breaks in again and starts searching the house. He heads upstairs, not knowing Natalie is hiding. Just as he lets his guard down, she attacks, tackling him out the window. Both crash to the ground below and lie unconscious. When Natalie wakes up, she sees him still knocked out. Quietly, she tries to get up and escape, but suddenly, a sharp pain shoots through her leg. A piece of glass has pierced her foot. She pulls it out, barely holding back screams. As she tries to run, her labor pain flares up again, and she collapses, unconscious. Hours later, she wakes up to the sight of 2 police officers. One helps her into the car, while the other goes inside to investigate. But then, a scream. The killer ambushes the officer. When the cop outside tries to contact his partner, there's no response. He locks Natalie inside the car and runs in to check. Moments later, gunshots. Natalie now knows they're both dead. Panicking, she looks around and spots a shotgun in the car. With no key, she bends the mesh divider and somehow pulls the gun toward her. Then, boom. She shoots the window, shattering it, and escapes the car. But the killer has also armed himself with one of the officer's guns. He's hunting her. Natalie stumbles into the ruined part of the house, bleeding and broken, and then her contractions begin. Yes, she's giving birth. In the middle of all this chaos, she delivers a baby boy. As she holds him, she remembers his father and the peaceful moments they shared. Tears stream down her face. In this house of horror, surrounded by bloodshed and death, a new life is born. But no matter what, she has to protect her baby. Without hesitation, she steps out and shoots the killer. But right after pulling the trigger, she collapses and passes out. When she wakes up, she's in a hospital. The doctor tells her that her baby is safe and takes her to see him. But that's not all. They need her to identify the man who attacked her. She's also told that the same man is in the hospital under police custody. Natalie is brought in for identification, and as soon as she sees him, she confirms he's the one who murdered the cops and tried to kill her. Deep down, she wants to end him right there, but with the police watching, she holds back. Later, she returns to her room. Suddenly, alarms start blaring. Natalie senses something's wrong. She rushes to the upper floor, only to find the cops dead and the killer missing. He sneaks up behind her and tries to shoot, but Natalie dodges and survives. As he charges at her, she fights back. The killer screams that he'll kill her and her baby. Horrified, she runs to her child. Thankfully, the baby is still safe, but before she can relax, the killer storms in. He grabs her by the throat and tries to strangle her, but Natalie doesn't give up. She grabs a surgical knife and slashes his throat. Then she stabs him over and over until he's finally dead. Holding her baby close, she walks away. And that's how this terrifying story ends. A mother who became a fighter to protect her child. But here's the real twist. That man was living inside the walls of the house, using hidden spaces to spy on everyone. Whenever someone moved in, he'd wait and kill them. People thought the house was haunted, but the truth was way worse. There were no ghosts, just a psychopath lurking in the shadows. Haha. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and stay scared.